Hi, this is Sean Darrington, Senior Director of Product Management. In this short how-to video, I want to share with everybody how to configure port groups using the command line by using the monitoring keyboard and plugging it into the rear of the OneBlox. Normally you do this through the web console, which is another how-to video I did, but if you don't have access to that, this is another failback or fallback, if you will, on how to do that. So now I'm going to log in here remotely. Now this is something that I'm doing here just for the screen recording. Normally you would log in with the keyboard and monitor, as I said. Username and password is admin config. That's the default for everything, all lowercase. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and log in. Now you'll have limited access when you do log in with the monitor and keyboard to do certain network functions or command line functions. So at any point in time you can do help, and you can see a number of help topics here. So I'm going to go ahead. If you, for example, do help admin, this is where you manage the user settings. I'm going to go ahead and do network, and then again help. And now you see the different options where I can see the port groups, in this case data and management, that I'm going to be working. Port groups is how you enable or disable this function, as well as if you want to set up VLAN tagging for cluster traffic, as well as the virtual IP address. In this case, we're going to focus on the port groups. So I'm going to tab ahead, and you can do tab as well as up and down arrows. And you can see that currently I have port groups disabled. So I'm going to go ahead and enable port groups. And you can see it's pending because all the changes I'm going to do will actually be pending until I click the type in the apply. So now this is the current settings for both my management and data network. They're both sharing the same thing, which is the default behavior, single bond 0. I'm going to actually go ahead and keep the management settings the same in terms of the IP address, MTU, bond mode, etc. But now I'm going to click help, and then I'm going to type in help data. So these are the options that you see for the data port groups, and they're the same for the management, but I wanted to show the help functions. This is going to use all the 10 gig Ethernet ports on the OneBlox, whether that be SIP Plus or base T. The management port group will use only the 1 gig ports. And this is how you can isolate different types of traffic. For example, on the data network, you can have your backup or your virtual server traffic. And on the management port group, you can have access to one system, as well as a more public and open 192 network for user SMB shares, things like that. So anytime I'm going to make any changes, I use the format of data static. In this case, I'm going to set the static IP here, data static inet 10.20.80.13. and then 255.250.0.0. Now there is no gateway on the data port group because it's a non-routable port group. So I'm going to go ahead and set the MTU to 9,000. If you're going to use jumbo frames, please be careful. You can cause a lot of network issues if you mix jumbo frames with standard packets. You'll see a lot of errors, etc. So I'm also going to set the data bond mode at LACP. And now I can do. I'm not going to tag my VLAN with any particular packets, but you certainly could if you wanted to. So now I'm going to go ahead and click apply. Now these changes are done out of band. It's not going to reboot the OneBlox, but it will reset the network interfaces. So it does take just a moment for it to come back. So if you try to hit any keyboard functions, you'll just kind of time out, and you'll see it doesn't actually apply anything. So just give it a moment, and it takes about a minute or so, and then those network interfaces are reset to the changes that you just applied, where now you'll have a management port group as well as a data port group. Okay, so it looks like the changes have been applied. So I'm going to go ahead and show management, and you can see that I have the same network settings I had before. Now I have a management network with the same static IP, etc. But I also have now a data network. This is what I set the 10.20.80.13. Now you'll notice here there is gateway information. This is just the default populated information. Even though it's showing the management gateway, it's not routing all the traffic through the management gateway. It still has applied the network settings correctly in terms of MTU, LACP, and this static IP address for a different VLAN. So now when you're done, you can hit end, and you'll go up a level, and then eventually you can log out from that level as well. But now you can log out, and your session is closed. And that's as easy as it is to configure data and management port groups on your OneBlox. Thanks for watching.